The 3 times I've lost money, I mean, I've lost money more than 3 times, but the 3 times that jump out at me more than anything that had a deep impact on me. All right, so the first time, and the first time was probably 13 years old, maybe 14. Yeah, I think 13. I was working in the summertime picking strawberries at Maxwell's farm in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, which was I mean, you could walk there from my house. We used to live on, if you're going down 2 lights towards the where the lighthouses are, my mom's husband had a house on the side of the road there. I forgot the name of the road. But anyway, the Maxwell's farm was just a hop and a skip from where he used to live. It's sweet, actually. We could walk to the beach and all that. It was awesome. Awesome. Anyway, so we go to Maxwell's farm and pick strawberries. I also do some landscaping for some of the richer people. My mom's husband wasn't rich. He had inherited that land in his house from his parents from many years previously. Imagine it went for a pretty penny when he died. But anyway, that Maxwell farm place, man, what a primo locale. But anyway, so we go down there and pick strawberries in the morning, and then I do some landscaping for some of the rich people in the afternoon. I've always been a hard worker. I've always liked money, I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoy working for money and having my own money to spend as I see fit. So we went to Maxwell's, and you had 25 cents a quart, I think it was a quart, maybe a nickel a quart, I can't remember, but he'd pay you cash, and I'm sure he paid you cash so he didn't have to pay, FICA taxes and all that. And I'm sure if Mr. Maxwell ran for office, he would have got taken out because you didn't pay your secretary, your nanny, FICA taxes. Well, anyway, so the last day of picking season, when they paid you, I had my most money. I think I had like $130, and he used to give it to you in this envelope. It was awesome. So you have like $130. And my friend Matt and I, was it Matt? No, it was my friend Brendan, excuse me. We went someplace to some kind of festival. I can't remember where we went, but his dad drove us to some place outside of town, like some kind of festival. I just remember I can't remember where, I think maybe his brother was at some kind of camp or something like that. We went to go see him. Long story short, so I had my money guarded, because so Brendan picked me up with his dad, and his dad was always a very, I never, like, you know how some parents you get to know pretty well and get talking to and become kind of friendly with in a respectful way. His parents weren't like that at all. I think they were originally from Connecticut or something like that, and they were always wealthy. They had a pool. They lived right by the water. It was freaking awesome houses. So I was somewhat intimidated because I was just, a poor white boy. And and they weren't like that, even though they're white, but they were they had money and stuff. They had a pool, and having a pool in Maine meant you were living large back in the early mid 80s. All right, so I was intimidated. And I remember just sitting in the back seat and not saying much and just whatever. And it seemed like Brendan, if I remember right, didn't have it was just the whole trip was just odd. And I said, I'll go with it, because the point was we were going to stop at Dairy Queen to get an ice cream on the way back. And man, I've always been a Dairy Queen nut. I love Dairy Queen just because I never had a chance to go. I mean, probably once a summer, if even that, I'd get to go to Dairy Queen. All right, so the long story short, let's check this out. So we go to this thing, and man, I've got to go. We're winding up, we're getting done, and I've got to go to the bathroom. So we're walking to the car. I said, man, I got to go to the bathroom, because, when you get hit with the, let's just say you have too much Mexican food and it hits you all of a sudden, you're like, ooh, I got to take care of some business here. So I remember telling Brenda, I said, man, I got to go to the bathroom. And I remember thinking, oh, his dad's going to be pissed because I should have gone before, but it just hit me. I said, if I'm sitting in the car, I'm freaking, let's just put it this way, it won't be a friendly drive home, if you know what I'm saying. So I said, all right. So Brenda said, all right, yeah, go ahead. So I went to the bathroom. I was trying to be quick because again, I was intimidated by his dad. His dad's a rich guy. He wasn't mean, just wasn't that friendly. And so I'm trying to be quick. So I do what I got to do. I run back to the car. They're waiting for me. I felt kind of guilty, no biggie, but still I felt like, ugh. And we were driving back. About 5 minutes later, I reached in my pocket to see if to grab my money, because I'm going to pay for a Dairy Queen ice cream. Wasn't there. Was not there. I had left it on the back of the toilet seat. when I was going to the bathroom. Oh, $140 I busted my butt for. That was my ice cream money. Oh, and I can't remember if I told Brendan or not. I can't remember if I got an ice cream. I just don't remember. But I remember the whole time thinking, I'll never forget that. It was like the biggest, oh man, I was just in pain. I'll never forget that. $140 of hard work down the drain, just left on the back of a toilet in like Brunswick, Maine or something like that. All right, so number 2, we went to the Great American Beer Festival, and when I was working at my bar in Arlington, and it was a brew pub right off of Wilson Boulevard, and a bunch of us would go to the Great American Beer Festival. I think it went 3 consecutive years, and we went over to Las Vegas. Me and my man Chris and a couple others to he liked gambling. Maybe we just went to Las Vegas by itself. I can't remember. But anyway, we're in Las Vegas during the NCAA tournament, and I bet $80 on University of Virginia to beat Kansas, and I think it was in the Elite 8 if memory serves, maybe the Sweet 16, but I can't remember. But I bet on $80 on the sports book on UVA to beat Kansas, just straight up. Kansas ended up winning. I lost $80. Oh. I'll never forget that. That felt bad. I remember these guys would go to Las Vegas and like they're willing to lose like $1,000. They said, "I'm coming to Las Vegas, willing to lose $1,000 on blackjack, craps, all that stuff, and as long as I don't lose more than $1,000, I'm happy." And that just seemed weird to me. Like you're going in there, recognize you're going to lose money, and they're okay with that. It just always was weird to me. I said, I don't get that at all, man. But anyway, they'd always lose money, but I ended up losing some money too, because what they do is they feed you alcohol at the blackjack tables. And I'll just never forget, there's this old Korean lady sitting there. It's probably 2 in the morning. I'm probably drunk as a skunk. And this old Korean lady just smoking cigarettes and kind of hitting on me. It was just weird. I'll never forget that. I just like, I was always been a friendly guy, so I wasn't rude to her or anything. I just remember thinking, it's just me, her, and some other crusty old man across the table, 2 o'clock in the morning, smoking cigarettes, drinking, drunk as a skunk, and this isn't a good place to be. I remember that even now, like that was embarrassing. And but then, so I probably lost money at blackjack, but by then I was like, I resolved, I'm never betting again, simply because the pain of losing is too much. Losing hard-earned money. I couldn't do that. All right, lastly is when I used to do options when I was at Charles Schwab. So I was on the trading desk, and that doesn't mean literally just a call center where you have access to option trading. And people would get involved in that. And I said, man, these people are doing it. They're dumb. I know how to do this better than them. I mean, after all, I'm a professional. And so I wrote a bunch of covered calls, because I had this strategy, because everybody has a strategy to protect. Covered call strategy, I've done a video on that. Maybe I'll do another one. But it works in theory. It doesn't work when the market goes against you. It just doesn't work. Because if you continue to write covered calls on a stock that's dropping, at some point the stock, unless it goes bankrupt, which you'll lose all your money, is going to come back up, and then you're going to get your positions called from you at a much lower base than what you had bought it at, which is what I since learned the hard way. I think it was Petsmart. I was writing cover calls on Petsmart, down from like 40 all the way down to 4, and I was just getting hammered. I said, well, if this stock is going bankrupt, at least I'll get an income from the covered calls I'm writing. It went down to 4. Then, like in a couple weeks' time, it jumped up like 100% to 8. And I think I had a strike price at $5.50 or something like that. I can't remember, but they called it from me at $5.50. So I had bought it at 40, went all the way down to 4, sold this call against it at $5.50, and I probably got 80 cents a freaking call, which is the equivalent of 100 shares, if even that, because that'd be a pretty significant premium, but whatever it was. And then it just jumped. Call it from me at $5.50, and I think I lost probably a third, even maybe more than my portfolio, simply because they took it from me at $5.50. And I made decent money writing it down, but not nearly enough to cover the losses, from my basis of 40 all the way down to 4. So basically I got it at $5.50 back. So essentially I lost 34.50, if my basis was 40, my purchase price, I should say, and I wrote it down to 4, and it got called from me from 550, that means I lost $34.50 a share. I probably made $10, if even that. No, I probably wasn't 10, probably $6 in covered call premiums. So I was down, probably bought it at 40, probably sold it when all said and done at 27. I'm not 27, at 11, maybe 12. And literally in the course of a year, my portfolio just kaput. I said, oh man, I didn't realize it could be that much of a dog. But it was. Lesson learned. Losing money sucks. Just looked at my IRA right now. I'm down $15,000 in the last week's time. And the way I look at that, that is, a number of mortgage payments, my friends. Now, it's easy to say I just lost a number of my mortgage payments, which I have, but you forget that I made a whole lot of mortgage payments. Let's just say my mortgage payments is $3,000 a month. All right, so I've down $15,000, so I've lost 5 mortgage payments. All right, but a year ago, let's just say I had $100,000. We'll just use that for example. I went up to 130, so I made 10 mortgage payments, right? Yeah, because I went to $30,000 at $3,000 a month mortgage payment. Just throwing these numbers out there. So a year ago, I made 10 mortgage payments, and now I've lost, 5. So I'm still net 5 mortgage payments over the last year. And that's the way you got to look at it. You got to look at in terms of your spending, not the amount, certainly not the percentage. How much are you still up relative to things you could buy with that money? And how much are you down relative to what has just happened? And could you handle that happening again? Because remember, 10% loss is nothing. So just keep that in mind. All right, we'll see you.